on certain issues about PM's position or certain MP's position as far as the entire ambit of Lokpal bill is concerned?
Civil society representatives are welcome to give their suggestions, welcome to persuade us to agree to their point of view, but they cannot impose their point of view upon us. We have a point of view, and we have given reasons for our point of view. Take, for example, the question whether the Prime Minister should be brought under the Lokpal. There are several shades of opinion on that issue. The Constitution Review Commission, chaired by former Chief Justice Venkatachalaya and consisting of very eminent people, are they any less concerned about corruption than the 5 members on the Lokpal Drafting Committee? Are they any less patriotic? They have a point of view, and they have said the Prime Minister, as long as he holds office, should not be brought under the Lokpal. This is what we said in the Drafting Committee. There is a view that the Prime Minister should be brought. There is a view that the Prime Minister should not be brought. There is a third view that the Prime Minister should be brought, but with exceptions. There is a fourth view that the Prime Minister should not be brought as long as he is Prime Minister, but he can be investigated by the Lokpal after he demits office. Now, there may be a fifth view. Should not all these views be considered? Is any view more reasonable and any view less reasonable? Is anyone holding one view the only right person and all others are unreasonable persons? I think all the views must be brought to the table, and ultimately, let me tell you, it's not the Joint Drafting Committee which can pass the legislation. It is Parliament that will pass the legislation, and that's why I welcome the stand taken by a number of political parties that they will not reveal their mind on these issues until the matter is brought to Parliament.
Right, sir. In the recent press conference, HRD Minister Kapil Sibal said that certain chief ministers, in fact state governments, have responded to various issues, and various sections of the Lokpal bill have almost been finalized, and government is tremendously committed to the people of India in terms of bringing it forward and in the next monsoon session of Parliament. So how confident are we about that?
Oh, we are clearly committed to the goal that a bill will be drafted by June 30. Now, I sincerely hope that the other 5 members of the committee will return to the drafting committee's meetings. We have deferred the meeting because Shri Anna Hazare found a date which had been earlier agreed upon inconvenient. So we have deferred it by a few days. But if we work hard and long and sincerely, I think we will have a draft by June 30. After that, the matter goes to Cabinet, and then to Parliament, then to a Parliamentary Standing Committee, and then back to Parliament. But we are committed to draft the bill by the 30th of June, and I'm confident we will achieve that goal.
So your final assessment on both the important legislations that we are talking about, Black Money and Lokpal bill, in the view of recent developments, the politicization on these two legislations, and again the widespread strong public sentiment that is really coming forward, how do you look at it?
See, I certainly respect public opinion, public sentiment, as is portrayed in the media. But I think there is a very large number whose views are not reflected on the media.
Like?
They are out there in the countryside. No one goes to them. No one talks to them. Please remember that for the 6 years that the NDA was in government, they did not speak about black money. They did not take any action on black money. People get wiser after they lose office, and even wiser when they come to the sad conclusion that they may not win office again. Losers are bad, but people who come to the conclusion they will never be winners again are worse, be that as it may. We have taken a number of steps on black money, and these have been outlined by the Finance Minister. Only in the last 2 years, in searches, income tax searches, we have unearthed over 18,000 crore rupees. In income tax surveys, we have unearthed 12,000 crore rupees. In mispricing, we have unearthed nearly 36,000 crore rupees. We have entered into double taxation avoidance agreements, the modified ones, with a number of countries. We have entered into tax information exchange agreements with a number of countries. Mauritius, I started the process as finance minister. Mauritius has finally agreed to renegotiate the DTAA. We have ratified the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. We have deposited the instrument with the Secretary General. We are bringing a law in the next session of Parliament against bribing foreign public officials. We will introduce legislation to strengthen the Prevention of Corruption Act. We've entrusted cases to the CBI for investigation. The record of this government in dealing with corruption is an open record, and we can compare the actions taken in the last 2 years with any other 2-year period.
So, final word, your message to the people of the country through Doordarshan, especially in the light of developments that we have had post Baba Ramdev, even before that, of course, the Lokpal agitation, and again the entire civil society coming forward in the matters of legislation. And since you also mentioned about the media projection of these series of instances, they have a very strong impact on public sentiment. Somewhere down the line, media should also restrain, stick to the facts, rather than really dramatize the series of events.
I won't give any advice to the media. I think they are self-regulated, and that is how they should be, self-regulated. But as far as the people are concerned, let me say this. We are a fast-growing country. When the entire world was reeling under risk, we have grown along with China. In the last 2 years, under UPA 2, 2 years of UPA 2, the growth rates have been 8.0% and 8.6%. There's no large country which can boast of such growth rates. Jobs are being created, incomes are being generated, development works are being implemented. A number of social sector programs have been rolled out. Millions of people have benefited. We must not lose that big picture. Yes, there are problems. There are problems of corruption. There are problems of misbehavior and misconduct. They must be punished. But that's one part of governance, one part of social and political life in this country. Let's not miss the big picture while we talk about corruption. And on corruption, I think both the party to which I belong and the government to which I belong have made it absolutely clear that we will not tolerate corruption, and we will take stern action against corruption. I think the people must keep faith in parliamentary democracy. And all countries around us, surrounding us, have failed to keep the flame of parliamentary democracy glowing. Please remember, despite our shortcomings, despite our weaknesses, for 64 years, this country has kept the flame of parliamentary democracy glowing, and it's parliamentary democracy that will sustain this country and secure the people of this country. Let's do nothing, let's say nothing that will destroy parliamentary democracy.
And your word of patience for the public outbursts, since you're reiterating the basic ethics of parliamentary democracy, and the events that unfolded on Saturday night at Ram Leela grounds have been compared to Jallianwala Bagh massacre, unfortunately, that once again fueled a certain public sentiment. Anything on that?
That's a shameful comparison.
Yeah.
One lady has been critically injured, and I've already expressed my deep sense of sadness that she was injured. We are reaching out to the family. To compare this with Jallianwala Bagh betrays colossal ignorance, or betrays a very perverse state of mind, be that as it may. Millions of people in this country are going about their work. Farmers, industrial workers, service providers, teachers in schools, doctors, nurses, railway engineers, locomen, are all going about their work. It is not because they're not concerned with corruption or don't discuss it over the dinner table at home. They go about their work because that is the right thing to do. They will speak and express their views when it is necessary to do so. But to convert everyday life into a day-long protests and demonstration, and then week-long and month-long agitations, I think undermines and destroys the very foundations of this country. I'm glad that millions of people continue to do their work and continue to keep their faith that these problems will be resolved through debate, discussion, and through the instruments in parliamentary democracy. If some people think there is another way to resolve these issues, well, I can only be sorry for them. There is no other way to resolve these issues except through debate, discussion, and finally keeping your faith in the institutions of parliamentary democracy.
Right. On that note, thank you very much, sir, for
Thank
talking
you.
to DD News.